Mr. Payton has also been featured in national media news, events, and interviews. And in June of 1998, he published an article for D Magazine entitled Timeline, A Concise History, Black Dallas Since 1842. Now, there seems to be a correlation with June here because Mr. Payton was born on June the 3rd, 1947 in Cleveland, Ohio. However, he grew up in Dallas. His father worked at the post office and his mother worked as a sanitation worker at Republic Bank. Mr. Payton attended high school at Hamilton Park School and attended college at North Texas State University, which most of you know is now known as the University of North Texas. So go mean green. His education was interrupted by various draft notices for the Vietnam War, but despite those notices, Mr. Payton did not serve in the military. After leaving North Texas State, Mr. Payton became a door-to-door magazine and Bible salesman, which allowed him to travel extensively. He also spent time as an employee of Sears. Eventually, he began education outreach work for the Dallas Historical Society, which required him to conduct outreach projects within grade schools. Mr. Payton is known as the unofficial historian of Black Dallas. He is married with 2 children and he resides in East Dallas. So without further ado, the man of the hour, the scholar, and well-traveled, we would love to hear from you today again, sir. Welcome.
First of all, I want to thank y'all for inviting me out to talk a little bit. Gosh, I didn't know I did all that too. Y'all must have been investigating me. Again, thank you all for inviting me out to talk a little bit about Dallas and Dallas story. And today I'm going to talk about the historical overview of African American doctors. And in it, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the role of how helpful the Ku Klux Klan was for blacks. Sounds strange, huh? That the Klan was friends of, did friendly things for black folks. Show you in my talk. All right. This is Dr. Benjamin Blewett. He built the first black-owned hospital in Dallas, and he was also the first black surgeon in the state of Texas. And this is his clinic. This building is still standing. It's down on Commerce Street. It was built in 1908. This is Dr. Ollie Louise Bryan. She was the first black woman to practice dentistry in the South. I'll tell you a little more about her in a minute. She was the second black woman to graduate from Meharry Medical School in dentistry. So I was telling y'all that at the turn of the century, Dallas was the headquarters for some of the best black doctors in the country. They were coming out of Meharry. The first one was came here, Dr. C.B. Roman. He was a ENT doctor, the first black one in the United States. But he couldn't go to medical school in America, so he studied in Canada. Yeah, this is Dr. M.C. Cooper. He was the first black dentist in Dallas. It's a marker for Dr. Cooper now. He was born on the Caruth plantation. Many of y'all know where North Park Shopping Center is? That was the Caruth plantation. Caruth owned property from the edge of Dallas all the way back to Forest Lane. That was his plantation. it was two Caruth brothers, and they fell out, and one brother got the land on this side of Central Expressway, and the other brother got the land on the other side where Greenville Avenue, Presbyterian Hospital, that was his place. Now, these people, these doctors, did very well in Dallas, very prosperous, because they were taking care of the needs of the largest Ku Klux Klan chapter in the world. Was the Dallas chapter, chapter number 66. They had one day at the State Fair of Texas, they had Klan Day, and 75,000 Klansmen showed up for Klan Day. And I was wondering, I said, well, what was happening that these doctors were taking care of all of these Klan people? Because the richest men and most powerful men and women in Dallas were members of chapter number 66. The commissioners, all the commissioners were members of the Klan, the district attorney, the judges, the doctors, all of them were members of chapter 66. And this is C.V. Roman. He's founder of the Medical Association is here now. The doctors group is called the C.V. Roman Medical. Well, he came here, and I could imagine that he called back up to Meharry and said, because what's doctor's job? Anybody know what a doctor's job is? To take care of people with sickness. And if you were in the Ku Klux Klan, you had a sickness. You see. And so the doctor, Dr. Roman, called his buddies and says, hey man, there's a lot of sick people down in Dallas. You know, they got the largest Ku Klux Klan chapter in the world, so you know it's a lot of sickness going on. So Dr. Roman came, and then after Dr. Roman left here and went back up to Meharry to teach ear, nose, and throat surgery. Yes. And then after Dr. Roman, is it rolling? It's slow. After Dr. Roman, he brought down a doctor named Dr. John Anderson. Dr. Anderson came here and established, Dr. Roman came down, and he got so rich working on members of the Klan. See, y'all have to understand that issue with the Klan is that all day long, you know, the big thing is the big cross. You remember seeing them crosses? Well, all day they're loading fuel, they're loading gasoline and kerosene with nothing on but them roads. So what's happening? That they getting all this fuel off of the trucks and off of these wagons. What's happening? Huh? Yeah, they covered in gasoline and kerosene. So here they are dancing around a big 60-foot cross with nothing on but a sheet and gasoline drawers. You see, so they soaking wet. And now they are riding a horse, carrying torches, and what's happening to them? Huh? They're catching on fire. They are setting themselves on fire. Any of y'all ever hear this this home called Hope Cottage? Huh? You heard of Hope Cottage? Well, Hope Cottage was started by the Klan because the Klan had a thing of opening orphanages and widows' homes Why y'all think?
They get burned up.
Huh?
They get burned up.
The dads are burning themselves up. The husbands are setting themselves on fire. So they leaving a lot of orphans and widows. You see. So I shouldn't say this, but the number one banker for the Klan in Dallas was a guy was the mayor, Aura L. Thornton. That freeway over there named for him? Yeah, well, he was the banker. If you were a member of the Klan and you came to him and needed money, he'd made loans to you. Because y'all were in the brotherhood, you see. So this is Dr. Anderson talking about the money that he made. In the 1920s, he donated $12,000 to Meharry. See, he's not making that money off black folks. You see, he's not making that money off black folks because, see, black folks making their own medicine. Right. See, and they're bartering. Black folks are taking eggs and chickens and butter to the doctor. But to have $12,000 to give away had to be rich. So Dr. Anderson came here. Some folks say that he Passe Blanc. Anybody from Louisiana know what Passe Blanc is? Huh? Yeah, that he was passing for white. So a lot of the people. So that's his hall. That's a building that he paid for at Meharry back in the 1920s. They gave a $12,000 gift. You know. And they used that Klan money to build this building. This building is still standing down on the corner of Good and Latimer and Elm Street. That's the Pythian Temple. And when the Klan was at its height in the 1920s, the Pythians had $247,000 in the bank. So the bigger the Klan got, the more money the doctors got. Because you got more people setting themselves on fire. So just imagine Klan Day and 75,000 people walking around in gasoline drawers carrying torches. 75,000 had little children. Yeah, little children, called them the kitty Klansmen. I had that picture, but my wife said, don't show that, Donald. Please don't show that. But this is the buildings that they paid for. This is the College of Medicine at Howard. Dr. Richard T. Hamilton. Hamilton Park out there is named for him. He was on the board at Howard, so he helped to build Howard's medical school. And that Moreland Branch YMCA up there is now the Dallas Black Dance Theater, paid for with Klan money. Yes. So you can go by and see this building. Just imagine a black group with over $250,000 in the 1920s. They were rolling, them black doctors. Oh man, they were taking that money, doing all kinds of things, sending kids to college. That's why I say that the Klan was friends of ours, because they was educating us and sending us to school and paying for churches. Yes, that's what the doctors were doing with that money. And this is how the doctors were living. Look at these houses. They were over in North Dallas. We call it Freedman's, call it Uptown now. But that's North Dallas. It ain't no Uptown. Yeah. So you see this is Dr. Bryan, Bryan, that black woman dentist. This is her house. She had butlers and maids. Her husband was a dentist. They had butlers and houseboys off that money. See, black folks wasn't paying money for people to live in these kind of houses. That money was coming from rich white people. And the rich white people were what? Klansmen. Yeah, well, you can imagine how many people burn up. You riding around with a torch and that starched and that highly starched sheep and carrying a torch on a horse. Yeah, they weren't the very brightest of people. And this is Dr. Blewett's house. Remember I showed you Dr. Blewett earlier, the first surgeon? That's where he's living. These guys drove fine cars, lived in fine houses, and their wives wore great big old hats. Because you know the bigger the hat. Yeah, the bigger the hat, the bigger the purse. Yeah, so you see how Dr. Blewett and Dr. Bryant were living back in the 1920s. You see, those are some fine houses even by today's standard. Yeah, people had butlers and maids. Their wives played pinochle and bridge and stuff every day. They didn't clean these big old houses. Yeah, so this is the Macmillan Sanitarium. All right. This is a very active family in Dallas. Ernie Macmillan is the guy that brought the Black Power movement to Dallas. And Eva Macmillan, and that group, I don't know if y'all know the Macmillan, but this is Dr. Leach's house in Clinton. Dr. Anderson owned blocks of downtown Dallas, down where where the library, I don't know if y'all remember where the Lone Star Gas Company used to be downtown. Remember that? All that belonged to Dr. Anderson. And he owned a summer home out where Medical City is, right on Forest Lane. Yeah, well, that was his summer home. Dr. Anderson and Pearl C. Anderson took cruises around the world in the 1920s and 1930s. I used to talk with Miss Anderson. She used to tell me, she says, Donald, I'm going to tell you this, but when I came up here from Louisiana, she says, oh, I was a pretty thing. Yes, sis. I don't tell everybody, but I met this rich doctor. And Donald, I married for money. I said, Miss Anderson, you ain't the first, and what? Not gonna be the last to marry for money. But they did. They took cruises around the world. They go on 60-day cruises. Yeah, and come back home and find everything the same. Yes. So Dr. Anderson made so much money that his wife is the largest single donor to the United Way. In 1955, she gave over $250,000 to the United Way. And today it's called the Communities Foundation. And Miss Anderson is the single largest donor. Today, in today's money, that would be $7 million. Yes, that this woman had to donate. They live a good life. Yes. And this is Dr. Pinkston's clinic. Public place of service in the state for colored people. You see, because every religion had a hospital. The Baptists had Baylor, the Methodists had Methodists, the Catholics had a hospital called St. Paul. I don't know if y'all remember St. Paul Hospital. St. Paul, and then we had Parkland for. Yeah, well, yeah. See, we used to go out to Parkland, and they had a waiting room. It wasn't as big as half of this room, and we could come. If you came at 8 in the morning, we say what? That's right. That's right. You could sit there and watch the shifts change, and they just walk by you, and you sitting there, your head wrapped and your arm wrapped up, and then you see the shift change, and you say, "Whoa, this guy going home," and I'm still sitting here. You see, and they used to tell me Parkland had a little thing and had a hole in the back where you would come in and you stick your head in that hole, and they shoot you with DDT to kill the bugs. The bugs that would be on you, and they spray you down with DDT. You know that? Yeah, they had a. And if you call the ambulance, the ambulance, they say, "Is he hurt?" Say, "Yeah, he hurt pretty bad, but just keep him going till in the morning, and when the sun come up, we'll come on out there and get him." If he was dead, he said, "Yeah, he dead." Well, ain't no need us rushing out there. Yeah, we'll be right there after. Yeah. So that's Dr. Pinkston's clinic there. Pinkston did well. He came up here from Terrell. It's a high school out in West Dallas that's named for Dr. Payton. He was very good at donating. These guys had money to donate. They had money to do things. We used to have a camp out in Lancaster that Dr. Payton paid for. It was called Camp Pinkston through the YMCA. Yeah, those doctors, like I say, they wasn't building these buildings and making all that money off of us. Because, like I said, anybody ever heard of a thing called cow chip tea? Yeah. You know, that's when the cow goes to the bathroom. Ooh, moo, moo, moo. And you get it dry and go out and pick it up and do what? Anybody else? Boil it. Yes, drain it through a rag. Yeah, that's the medicine. That's the kind of medicine that we were taking. Yeah, making our own medicines. So that's the clan. So just imagine all of these guys are gasoline soaked and kerosene soaked, like here. That's 5 days. That's when they had 5 days at the State Fair. Yeah. Now, what do you think is gonna happen? He carrying a torch and in a robe soaked in kerosene and gasoline. He going to the doctor. You see, because he's gonna set himself on fire. You see? Yeah. They did some bad things because they were sick. And the doctor's job is to take care of what? Sick people. Sick people. They got paid taking care of sick people. Sometimes they charge a little bit for the medicine, but sometimes they had to charge a whole lot of money for the what? For the what? For the secret. Cause see, they passing them, they got them ladies in the clan too now. Oh, the clan. I just do anything to get in the clan. To get under the sheets with the clan, oh. Anything. You see. So, yes, ma'am.
What year was that picture taken?
I think that had to have been 21, I think. It was in the 20s. Yes. So they passing these women around. What's happening with them passing these women around?
Uh-oh.
They burning in more ways than one. You see. So the docs are charging them a little bit for the medicine, but a whole lot of money for what? Secrecy. Secrecy. Told you Dr. Anderson them to take, and you can imagine going on a 60-day cruise Yeah, they went to Africa and Egypt and Europe. That Anderson them did. I'm so glad we got a street at that name for him now. I think John did it. Yeah, yeah, John was one. All right. So these are the first doctors that practiced at a white hospital. They practiced over at St. Paul. They could go in and work, but they couldn't go into the rooms, where to relax and stuff. Yeah, yeah, that's Dr. Pinkston, Dr. Brown, Dr. Williams. These were the first doctors to practice medicine here at St. Paul. 1954, we were allowed to practice medicine, and you know these guys had to be sharp when they went in there, went in that hospital, cause you can imagine somebody passing the room and says, "My God!" You know they didn't say there are two neurosurgeons and ophthalmologists. You know they didn't say that when they passed that door and seen them, huh? You know what they call them. Yeah. All right. So that's a little story about the doctors in Dallas and their association with who? With the Ku Klux Klan. How the Ku Klux Klan were friends of the black folks, cause they were paying. The Klan was paying for Howard, paying for Meharry, paying for YMCA's, paying for churches. You see. So this is my cousin Kevin Teal. He's a brain surgeon. Yeah, he graduated from out at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical School. He won 1 year. He won the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Award. You see, so we have a deep history here in Dallas about, see, my family's been in Dallas, first black family in Dallas. We've been here 179 years in Dallas. We've been in America 416 years. That's why I encourage people to please start putting your family stories together, you know, because you don't want to be, let's see the hands of the people in here who want to get to the Golden Gate. All right. So all y'all want to get, all right. Now, did you notice I asked who wanted to get to it? But see, the first question that God gonna ask is 3 words. Who your people? And you say, see, I love God. I love God. God got a great sense of humor because God put a fence up around heaven. He didn't put a wall, got a fence. Well, I mean, if it's a gate, there's got to be a fence. Ain't no gate just standing there by itself. All right. So God let you give you a fence and you looking in the fence, running around outside the fence trying to find a cosigner. Looking in, trying to find somebody you know or somebody that know you. And God say, well, who your people? Say, I know who your people. Who your people? Who your people? And you say, well, I don't know, God. Say, you don't know? Why you don't know? Say, well, God, you know, I was busy. You know, the cowboy was playing. You know, so I was a little on the busy side, God. Say, but you were too busy to call on the people that made the sacrifices that you could have the things that you have today? You were too busy? And you say, well, God, you know, I had to pay for that Gucci and Auchi. But see, now you dressed in your character and you dressed in your deeds. It don't matter what you drove or what you wore. It's you and God now, you and your people, you see. And I really don't want to be standing outside there looking in. I done did everything to get to the gate, but I don't want to get to the gate. I want to do what? Get through the gate, through the gate. And you got to call on your people. Got to call on your people. All right, my time up.
No, sir.
Oh,
Can we have a little Q&A?
yeah. Yeah, questions about that building over there, the old red. My uncle was the first trial in that old courthouse there. That's opened July 4th, 1893. And John, I just want to thank y'all for exonerating Tommy Lee Walker. Y'all know the story of Tommy Lee Walker. Tommy Lee Walker. Yeah, it was a young man that they had a guy here named Henry Wade who came out of the FBI, and Henry Wade's first job, major job, was to track a guy named Marcus Garvey. And Henry Wade reported on Marcus Garvey back to a guy named J. Edgar Hoover. And so he, this woman got killed out near Love Field, and nobody knew. And White Dallas wanted somebody. We got to have somebody to hang down there in front of the old red courthouse now. And this boy's name came up, and Henry Wade said, well, he'll do. And gave that boy an overnight trial and sent him right to death row, and killed him. And they found out that he was innocent. Found out that the boy was innocent, but yeah. So yes, John.
First of all, thank you, Don, for always accommodating. Thank you to SBE. I just want, I've known Don, for probably ever since I came to Dallas. And one of the things I just wanted to say about Don, he talked about, the Macmillans. Well, for those of you who spent all your money out at the Galleria, that's where Black Dallas basically began. He talked about that migration. And we still take care, we service the White Rock Cemetery, not in East Dallas. It's out behind the Galleria. The county takes care of it today. Yeah. In fact, Mama Mac was the last one buried out there, but we still take care of it. But what Don talked about, and we talked about Dr. Anderson, finally Parkland, because of Ron Anderson, we couldn't name a building after Ron Anderson out at Parkland. So that's what he's talking about. We named a street through Parkland after Dr. John W. Anderson. And when he talks about C.V. Roman, and that's what happens when you know your history, Commissioner, thank you for being here. But that's what happens when you know your history. When you go to Redbird, Parkland, that is the C.V. Roman, COPC. That is because we named it, we knew our history. The first COPC, which is the Community-Oriented Primary Care Clinics, was named after Dr. R.B. Blewett and Dr. W.J. Flowers. It's called, that's the reason you see Blewett Flowers, okay? And so when you talk about sanitary, he's put it all in perspective. I just want you to know, when you know your history, you keep making markers and making sure that people don't forget. I know most people just go and look and see Redbird reimagined, but Parkland came in and anchored that. And since they anchored that with the COPC, we named it C.V. Roman. It's a C.V. Roman COPC over there. And as a result, again, he talked about this whole move of medicine in this community.
All them black doctors were coming here. Mm-hmm. They were coming out of Meharry. coming down here because there were so many sick people. People setting themselves on fire.
Anyway, and by the way, and he talked about the Caruth Plantation. We go to South Dallas, when you go over on 352, some of you call it Sain Road. The MC Cooper, we hit Texas A&M about once they made that acquisition from Baylor. They named that clinic after Dr. MC Cooper. And I think what Don has always expressed, and he and I have spent a lot of time, go up here to the 7th floor of the library. He's the one that kept pushing me up that way. Once you know your history, then you'll start reaching and begin to put our markers out there. Because like you said, people don't know who MC Cooper is. It's a little dental clinic over on 352 Sain Road, right next to Hatcher Street Station, which is Parkland again. And so I just want to say to Don, over the years, we've dealt with so many projects, and he's known nationally, and we are real out of gratitude. Pinkston Colored Cemetery, we take care of it. That Knights of Pythias building, when you go down there, remember, they were talking about letting it, we call it demolish by neglect. They had purchased that building. That building was basically deteriorating, it was falling in. And what we did is now there's a little guy by the name of, has a daughter named Portia. Have you touched on that yet?
William Sidney Pittman.
William Sidney Pittman.
Yeah, Booker T. Washington's son-in-law. Only son-in-law. Lived in Dallas. Buried over behind Lincoln High School. So is Portia. And again, we take care of those there. But if you go down on Good Latimer, one of the things we did down there is made sure that they weren't able to demolish the Knights of Pythias. And when you go in there, you will see that the hotel is called the Pittman Hotel.
It's called the Pittman Hotel. Nice little hotel. It's downtown, and it's right there. But and again, Don and I. What happened, what Booker T. Washington understood with Mr. Pittman was, he said, they're not going to ever sell you quality products. Send him to Europe to learn how to make bricks. And so as a result, when we did that hotel, because of Don, we were able to make them maintain that hotel. And so when you know your history, and again, I can't say enough to SBE, to Mr. Crawford and Jason and all, but when you know your history, you can continue to put those markers. Otherwise, they would have been gone. Y'all don't know who.
And don't forget Percy Anderson School.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, it's gone, and we named the school, and see, the school is gone primarily because of some other. Shenanigans. But yeah, Pearl C. Anderson had that school here. So
one thing, John, I just found out just back in the summer that our kids do not know how to write cursive.
Right.
They can't sign their names. And do you know how far that sends us back? When you can't write your name, they say you can't write in cursive. They can't read writing, can't write reading. Yeah.
Well, they took it out of the school. So it was.
Well, they say, and all of them say the same thing. Well, I got it on my phone. And you say, on your phone? You count on your phone to write your name for you? If your mama don't pay her phone bill, that phone is a rock, is a paperweight. But please, if you have children and grandchildren, please teach them how to write. Because if you can't write, You can't read anything that's been written in this country in the last 400 years. I mean, you can't read the Constitution. You can't read all of the documents
Bill of Rights,
because they're written in
cursive.
cursive, and the kids can't write their name, and they all say the same thing. They say, well, they didn't teach us that. So my answer is, can you twerk? Say, well, yes. Say, well, did they teach you that in school? Say, well, no. Did you learn it? Well, yeah, I know how to twerk. Who asked me that? And came right there. You know how far that goes back? How proud you used to be when you could write in cursive and make them flares and them letters and stuff. And now these kids are graduating and can't write their names. That just don't register with me. To when you can't write your name, you can't sign every document you get says print and signature. Right, yes, ma'am. That means right. So if y'all have time, take a little time and teach your kids how to read and write cursive. If not, yes, ma'am.
I heard about, a blind girl that Claudette Lavaux.
Yeah, she just passed.
Just died.
She just died.
Yeah, she just passed a couple of months ago, maybe.
But how come we want to talk that she,
She was the first one to sit down before Rosa Parks. And the reason is Dr. King them didn't take her on because she was pregnant.
oh, okay.
And so they did not, at that particular time, they did not feel like that was their best case to put before the Supreme Court.
Only in America.
Yeah, only in America. Right. I'm just giving you the history. But yeah, she just died. She just died. Yes.
Yeah, they gave the credit to Ms. Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks.
Because she was active in the NAACP and she had been to Civil Rights School up in Nashville. They used to have a school up there that taught you how to fall and cover yourself to keep them from kicking you in your ribs, how to steel yourself when people would come by and stick you with burning cigars and burning cigarettes, how not to retaliate, how to hold, how to think. And Ms. Parks Rosa Parks had been through that, and this girl hadn't. And, we were talking about y'all heard the Montgomery bus boycott? Yeah, well, see, that wasn't planned in Montgomery. The Montgomery bus boycott was planned in South Dallas over at Miss Kraft's house.
Juanita Kraft.
Yeah, but my cousin was in the meeting. He was Miss Kraft's sergeant. And he said that they were talking about it. And so about how they were going to do it. And one of the guys in the meeting, he said, hey, what if this bus boycott thing don't work? Suppose it blow up. And if it blew up, I'm going to lose everything and everybody. I got a house note, and a car note, and a wife note, and a little side piece note, and I got to keep that going. So one of the other ones said, say they got that young minister down there in Atlanta. Say, bring him to Montgomery and put him out in the front. And if this thing don't work, we'll just get him to the white folks. Yeah, and we'll sacrifice him. Well, all the established people stood back. All of the ones with fine cars and fine houses, they stood back. And the kids like Martin. The kids started following Martin. And when they turned them dogs and them hoses loose on them kids, well, their parents and grandparents couldn't stand by then. They had to do something. But it was actually planned. Why do y'all think they didn't plan it in Montgomery? What do y'all think?
Maybe the people.
Huh?
Maybe the people.
Something would have happened though, after that meeting. What would have happened?
At home.
Huh?
At home.
Somebody would have went uptown and did what? Yeah, told them white folks what they was planning on doing. See, they bombed Martin's house. They threw them people in Montgomery, blew all of the front of Martin's house. They were serious, you see. So a lot of things happened in Dallas. They say Dallas never did anything in the civil rights movement, but a lot of things happened in Dallas. Just looked at how Howard Medical School got paid for. To this very day, it's one of the top medical schools in the country. We looked at how Harry was paid for. Dr. Anderson, the doctors from Dallas, was paying for that. And they was getting the money from who? From the Klan, from the Ku Klux Klan. So a lot of things have happened here. Any more questions? I love to ask questions because I think it's about time winding down. Any questions?
Any last questions?
No question? All right.
I just wanted
Commissioner.
to say thank you for coming, taking time out of your schedule.
Oh, yeah, this is my county, huh? You know, I had to come down and check and see what y'all doing. Yeah, this is, you know, my folks were, I just told you my uncle was the first trial in the old red courthouse there. I helped say that when I was a commissioner, they were gonna bulldoze it down. And they had to bring some guys from Ireland over here to put that roof on. They were slate roof people. And those are acatarians on the top up there. Some people call them Griffiths or gargoyles, but they're acatarians. And yeah, that was old. This is where town was. Town is always centered around the courthouse. This was the courthouse square, you see. So this means a lot to me to come down and talk to you all because, you know, I vote and my folks, anybody know what a poll tax is? No. Let's see the people who don't know what a poll tax is. Nobody know what a poll tax is?
Everybody.
No,
Huh?
everybody knows what poll tax is.
Huh? A poll tax. Had to pay. Had to pay to vote. My mom and daddy paid $1.50 a piece to vote. My mom was making $14 a week. And she had to pay poll tax, had to pay poll tax out of it so we could vote for Frank Crowley and Henry Wade. Henry Wade and what's that other building over there? Little humpback judge.
Lou Sterrett.
Lou Sterrett. Oh, yeah, you look at old Lou Sterrett.
Judge.
And his eyes was real close where he been looking at the holes in that sheet. His head been pointing, he wore that hat so much. Yeah, I knew all those guys. Yeah.
We really appreciate you taking the time out to, you know, continue to educate us.
Oh, yeah.
And so can we get a round of applause for him? I want to also say this isn't the end. We're going to keep this thing going, okay? So next week on February the 18th, we have a fireside chat with our own Commissioner Price, the Commissioner. So I need you to come out for that also.
That sounded all right.
And then the following week, we have a Red Cross sickle cell blood drive. And then we're going to wrap it up with our Divine Nine on the Plaza. So and we, all the Greeks come out. And anybody that's graduated from HBCU, we're going to say, come on out as well, so we can celebrate you. Okay? So with that, we're going to wrap this up. Again, thank you for coming out. We also have parking validations in the back for those who drove over and parked in our garage. So please see us in the back. Thank you. God bless you and have a great day.
Sounded all right.
You did. Hey.